Hello guys, welcome back to our channel. Nigerians are wondering, are the federal parastatals now a case study of the army? Is it now a northern parastatal, or is it a federal parastatal as the case should be? But before we go into the news proper, I would like you to subscribe to our channel by clicking on the red subscribe button. Beside it, you see a bell notification icon. Please go ahead, click on it to get notified as soon as you update our channel on YouTube. What the likes of Arewa Consultative Forum, the likes of Afenifere, Ohaneze, Ndigbo, and the rest are actually at loggerheads over the issue of the recruitment that is going on in JTF. But before, let's go ahead and find out exactly why they are at loggerheads. Well, the recruitment of 400 members of the Civilian Joint Task Force in Borno State into the Nigerian Army has pitted prominent socio-cultural groups representing different regions of the country against one another on the preparatory or otherwise of the move. While the Arewa Consultative Forum is fully in support of the decision, groups such as Ohaneze, Ndigbo, Afenifere, the Middle Belt Forum, and the Pan-Niger Delta Forum are against it on the premise that only persons from a particular area of the country are recruited into the army. The Nigerian Army on Wednesday absorbed 400 members of the civilian JTF into its fold to assist in prosecuting the war against Boko Haram terrorists. The men, among who are hunters, are being enlisted into the Nigerian Army's super camp strategy in Borno State, the worst hit by the insurgents, while Governor Babagana Zulum, who commissioned the 400 men in the presence of the Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Toka Borotai, said they formed the first batch to be recruited by the army. According to him, other CJTF members will be joining the army soon. The CJTF emerged in 2013 to support the security forces in the fight against Boko Haram and to protect local communities from attacks by insurgents were formalized by Borno State government through the collaboration of the military. The CJTF members were recruited, trained, kitted, deployed, and paid monthly allowances to motivate them. Well, Afenifere have spoken. According to them, they said they're reacting to the news. The Yoruba socio-political group Afenifere, through their national publicity secretary Yinka Odumakin, accused the federal government of regionalizing the army. He said there is no other name to call than regionalization of the army for a section of the country without necessarily saying so. The rest of the country is not daft about what is going on. There is no way you can build confidence in national institutions when you continue to paint them in sectional colors. And there are same people who said the Southwest could not do Amotekun a few months ago. Borno is affiliated with crisis the way other sections are, and we cannot turn our supposed national army into an outfit of a section of it, in addition to the sectionalism and parochialism of this regime in the last 5 years. Well, the likes of Ohaneze, Ndigbo, and Middle Belt Forum have also spoken. Similarly, the Apex Group socio-cultural organization as Ohaneze, Ndigbo insisted that the commissioning of the 400 civilian JTF members in Borno State into the Nigerian Army violated the federal character principle in national appointment. It said the appointment or the action of the army leadership showed that the security apparatus of the country has collapsed. The President General Ohaneze, Ndigbo, Chief Nyawodo, who spoke through his media advisor, Chief Emeka Atama, condemned the action of the army, saying it has negative implications. He stated, "It is very clear, and it's a clear vindication of those who hold the view that a situation where civilians are now conscripted into the army to fight Boko is a big shame to Nigeria. It runs against the spirit of the federal character principle, which ensures equity in national employment. Can this be replicated in other parts of the country? Who has guaranteed the integrity of the people absorbed into the army? Who is sure they are not even sympathetic to this cause?" Similarly, the Middle Belt Forum faulted the recruitment of the civilian JTF members into the army. The national president of the forum, Dr. Bitrus Boko, who spoke with one of our respondents in Jos Thursday, said the action of the Nigerian army negated the principle of federalism being practiced by Nigeria. Boko said, we are not objecting to the absorbing of the JTF members into the military for assisting in the fight against insurgents. However, there should be equity in everything we do in this country because we are federation. We are a federation and we are not supposed to do things haphazardly. So if the Nigerian army wants to recruit CJTF members into its fold, it should also bring in similar outfits in other parts of the country so that there will be equity in representation in the army. Very good. I like that. This one here, and he now said, this is important because we have them all over the country who are also sacrificing their lives to help in securing the country and working hard on their own violation without receiving salaries. Why single out an outfit in a region for recruitment? In order to strengthen Nigeria's security apparatus, Boko maintained that the absorption of vigilantes should not be restricted only to the Nigerian army alone, but should be extended to police and other paramilitary agencies. He insisted that the establishment of state police remained the best option to solving the country's security challenges. Well, PANDEF also have reacted and they said that volunteers and vigilante members in other parts of the country should also be commissioned into the army, just like what was done with the civilian JTF in Borno State. The spokesperson for Pandeff, Ken Robinson, who stated this in a chat with one of our correspondents, said this would bring about fairness, adding that it would raise suspicion if what happened in Borno was not replicated in other parts of the country. He added that the army forces and the police were understaffed and would do with more personnel. Robinson stated, obviously the army forces and even the police are understaffed. I don't know the number of personnel we have immediately, but I know we have less than 500,000 police personnel policing a nation of over 200 million Nigerians. So I'm sure the situation with the army won't be different if they are properly profiled and the so-called civilian JTF members are not the so-called guys causing the insurgents, then we are putting into the army, then it's good and fine. But we need to interrogate that further to be sure that they are truly not the so-called BK boys. Because these stories and insinuations are everywhere that it is what is happening, and that is when that is done, they will most likely like to be posted to the southern part of the country and become another thorough gang. So we are conscious about that, and we are a bit worried if they're recruiting civilian JTF members into the army, then they should do the same in other parts of the country. There are vigilante groups in almost all the countries, all the states in the country. They should also get their members into the Nigerian army to strengthen the internal security. But if they don't do that, then concentrate only on the north, then it's a suspicious move. Whoa, well, they do the same. There was some Borno elder advises the Nigerian army, as in some Borno state elder statesmen are now advising Nigerian army, saying that elder statesman Zana Boguma advised the army to replicate the commission of volunteers into its fold in all states experiencing insecurity in the country to ensure fairness and balance in the system with the aim of achieving speedy restoration and peace and security. He said the decision of the army to recruit civilian JTF in Borno State, it was actually to help the fight against insurgents, was a global practice and that allows volunteers to participate in the restoration of peace and order in different localities. Bokuma made the statement in Maiduguri on Thursday while responding to the recruitment of 400 civilian JTF by the army. While the Nigeria, a lot of persons started talking, even ACF. However, there's a Arewa Consultative Forum has said that the Arewa Consultative Forum has said that the 400 civilian JTF members into the military was normal in a war situation. Mr. Emmanuel Yahweh, which is the National Publicity Secretary, told one of our respondents on an interview in Kaduna on Thursday that we are in war situation in Borno. Yahweh said during the Nigerian Civil War, many citizens were conscripted into the army, adding that some were even given military ranks, but after the war they were disbanded. Okay, now we understand where they're heading from. But the question now is, just like every other group are asking, are you not going to put other groups? Yes, we know the situation in Borno State is quite pathetic. It's a serious situation. But for equity's sake, for fairness sake, and for justice sake, because the Nigerian army is a federal agency, it's not a state-owned agency, and it's not a regionalized agency, it's a federal agency. It should have a federal character. What that means technically is whatever is good for the goose is good for the gander. Whatever is good for another region is also good for the southern region. So we shouldn't begin to say, okay, it's actually the north that are having insurgents. Now you can hear what the Pandeff is saying. How are we so sure that these guys are not, how is even so sure they are well profiled? And if they are profiled, how are we so sure that after being recruited, they will not be put, be posted down to the south, who will come and, cause some sort of mayhem? The truth of the matter is, right now, Nigerians are suspicious of one region or the other simply because of the haphazard positioning and security service chiefs that are actually in position of power. And even some key and juicy position has caused Nigerians to, so to speak, wonder, is there any other moves that we're not seeing here, or is it just coincidence? If it's just coincidence, then prove it by ensuring that all sectors of the economy, all sectors of the region, from the south, since not have been represented, do same to the south. Let there be equal representation in Nigerian army, so that we will know that we're truly safe. That's what we're going to wrap it up. Let's meet in